Hi everybody, Paul Cameron here from SpeedUpMyJobSearch.com with a clip from our monthly jobs-driven networking group, which meets in Wheaton, Illinois every third Thursday. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he went all out. I knew it. He's going all the way. No halfway. Oh, no. You got to go all in.
Well, welcome, my young Padawans.
Just like Jim.
So I hope you all brought an open mind here today, and you don't leave here thinking I've lost my mind. So my name is Paul Cameron, and this is the Jobs-Driven Networking Group. We meet here every third Thursday, as you can see. We meet here every third Thursday. Where's my clicker, by the way? There it is. Very recently, we went to go see the 9th episode of Star Wars. Has everybody seen this? At some point during the movie, I thought to myself, man, wouldn't that be cool if job seekers could walk into an interview and just go, you will release the other candidates from consideration and hire me from this. And yes, before you ask, this is 100% inspired by and a tribute to Jim Fergal and his Halloween presentations, which are fantastic if you haven't seen those, by the way. A long time ago, at computers from far, far away, imperial job rejectors bombarded inboxes from across the galaxy. Meanwhile, the Jobs-Driven Networking Group, the JDNG Alliance, was fighting back. They met secretly in the basement of a Freemason building on a third Thursday to learn Jedi mind tricks for the job seekers. All right. So, what I'm going to teach you, my young Padawan, much to learn today there is. You're going to learn how to see what other people are thinking, like Kylo Ren, and you won't have to do the weird hand thing to do so. You're going to learn how to reflect and disarm others without detection. So first off, the 3 degrees of mastery. Whatever it is you do, there are 3 degrees that you need to master to really perform at the highest level. And first is knowledge of self. And what I mean by knowledge of self is understanding what it means to be you. What are your core values? What are your non-negotiables? For example, for me, when I was 14 years old, I had an experience that I remember like was yesterday. I had walked to, after practice, after freshman year of high school football, walked from the school over to my mom's work. Just going to drive me home. And on the way home, we stopped at McDonald's to get some quick dinner. It was late, and drove, just a couple miles from home. Not a big deal, but we drove all the way home. And then we checked what we had, and my mom went, oh, they gave us the exact food that we had ordered. But they gave us too much change. They gave us $1 too much. But without hesitation, without a question, we got back in the car, drove all the way back to McDonald's to give them their $1 back. Because that's a non-negotiable to my parents. And now for me, that they've embedded that in me. So there are some non-negotiables for you, I suspect, in some similar areas. What are those things for you, those lines you won't cross? And you'll find that once you identify those, like intentionally and outwardly consciously identify those, when you get into an interview situation and they ask you an ethically challenging question, and they make it very clear that they want you to say that thing, that maybe you would use pirated software, maybe you would do that, take a little bit back for the company or whatever it is, what would you actually say? Well, it takes all the stress out of that because you've already made that decision before you showed up. Right? Where are you going to fit in well? And when you meet one of those people that are of the opposite type of thinking, if you know that going in, you're going to be able to react a little bit more effectively. Does that make sense? But you can't do that unless you know what your personality type is. And once you know that, then you can jump into the second level of mastery, which is knowledge of the material. And again, any profession, to perform at the top level, you don't pick up the manual the week before you step into the game. And then lastly, then getting to know the stakeholders. So now when you know yourself and you can apply it to the material, now you can apply all of that to your opponent. All right. So when you go into an interview and you know you're going to meet with a captain, or you know you're going to meet with an analyst, or with the personality type of that person, you can now adjust your personality to theirs. Yes? And this is where people tend to say, but how do I know what their personality type is? And that's where your first Jedi lesson comes in, my young Padawans. So I kind of randomly chose a few people here today who I have never talked to before in my life. That I know of. Dean, you're one of them. This is using personality AI technology. So what I did is I went to your LinkedIn profile, and within just a few seconds, it pulled up this complete report. 2 pages of everything he likes and everything he doesn't like. And his personality traits and the types of people he is.
I'm very curious.
Personality, how accurate is that?
This is scary. Do this. Stop it. You have my first page here, many of the strengths and what comes naturally. Very good. And it's true that even though others who meet me think that I'm outgoing and easy to talk to and so on, that's hard. I work very hard to try to function in crowds and you actually nailed that. You said what drains me, crowded, busy events, things like that.
Okay.
Whereas others, and that's very true, my wife knows that, but very few others know that because I hide it by working very hard to try to be outgoing. That's just one of the 100 things you said.
If you go to speedupmyjobsearch.com/disc, you can see it there, and I've got a personal invitation on there. If you want to use it, you can do 10 scans of other people for free. You can take your own test. And I do this for the members of speedupmyjobsearch.com prior to all their email, before their interviews, so that they know the personality styles of these people prior to going in. Now, in the movies, what Kylo Ren would do is he would walk up and reveal all your thoughts. Congenitally blind babies who have never seen anyone else's facial expression to mimic it make the exact same facial expressions as babies that can see that mimic their parents. These are involuntary reactions that our faces make when we experience specific feelings. Okay? And if you can learn to spot them, then you're going to be able to see what those people are thinking. And there has been an amazing amount of studies done specifically by Vanessa Van Edwards. This book is outstandingly wonderful. She has spent her career studying people and every little micro expression you could make and what does it mean. But she talks about micro expressions, not deep expressions like, right, where you've intentionally made that expression. It's a fleeting, less than 1 second expression. And it'll tell you more than you think. So number one, if you see an interviewer or the person that you're talking to narrow their eyes, what that means when they do that, they don't quite believe you. Skepticism. I don't know if that's really true. Really? All right, so when you see that, you need to clarify. The next one, a one-sided mouth raise. Like that. You draw one side of your mouth back. A lot of people mistake this, from what Vanessa says, as a half smile, a smirk. You know what that means? Contempt. They not only don't agree with what you said, they are upset that you said it. They feel disdain towards what you just said. They really disagree. If you see that on someone's face as you're talking to them, you need to address it right away. It's not that they feel disdain for you, but just for what you just said. So what do you do with that information? Well, if they don't believe you, try using some phrases like this. If you're anything like me, which then creates that connection, you probably found that statement tough to believe, but, and then go on to prove your point. Or, I'm sensing some doubt. And so let me explain a little further. Because you spotted those micro expressions. Technique called mirroring. And you may have heard of this already, but it is so powerful. If you are not in sales, maybe you don't fully grasp how powerful mirroring is. As you are talking to someone, to try to mirror their actions. And just very subtly, not obvious, but subtly do this, that person is going to feel a connection to you. I used to have a recruiter named Sarah. She has such a great personality. If you remember Sarah, she could get along with anybody, and it was incredible. She could build very, very close rapport with literally anybody. And when you talk to her about it, or you just watch her in action, it would be because she mirrored people so well, and it was something that she had to master growing up. But it got to the point with her where she did it just without thinking. We had, for the longest time, when we were in our Elmhurst office, we had what we would do, whoever the recruiter was who had the highest production got lunch with the boss, right? So I took him to lunch. And I'm having a conversation with Sarah, good conversation, we're just talking back and forth, it's all good. And I realized what we're talking about. And after a while, I realized that anytime I took a drink, she took a drink. And every time I put my hand on the table, she put her hand on the table. And I'm looking at her like, are you doing this on purpose? I didn't say anything. I'm just trying to figure out, is she really doing this on purpose? So I put my hand down, and I put my hand up. I put two hands up, and we're just talking. And after a while, I didn't even hear what she was talking about. I'm just so fascinated with this. So then I put it to this level, sincerely. We're talking, and I leaned over just a little bit. And she leaned over, just having good conversation. I leaned a little bit more. It was a good conversation, everything's going on. It got to the point where literally I had my elbow on the booth. And we're just talking, and she's just having a conversation. And I felt like, Sarah, do you even realize what you're doing right now? And she looks around, she's like, oh. She just naturally did that. And it was incredible. But I'm telling you, there is nobody I have ever met who could connect with people so quickly. Whether she was on the phone, she would match their pace and their tone and their excitement. If she's in person, she would do it, and she wouldn't do it so obvious. It would just be very, very subtle. And with her, she was such a professional, and she knew how to do it. She knew herself. She mastered herself. She mastered the materials so well over so many years, she didn't have to think about it anymore. The game slowed down for her, so she could then apply it to the person. Are you with me? Is that first lesson making sense? So now Daniel Pink, what I love about him is he uses studies, books, and I'll just share a couple of them with you here. There was a Dutch study done that waiters who repeated the customer's words exactly earned 70% more tips than those who just paraphrased their words. A French study of retail salespeople. What they did is they told half the retail sales clerks to mimic the expressions and nonverbal language of the customers. When the customers approached the salespeople, nearly 79% bought from the mimickers and only 62% bought from the non-mimickers. The platinum rule. You've all heard the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I am more of a believer in the platinum rule. Do unto others as they want us to do unto them, right? In other words, treat people the way that they want to be treated, not the way that you want to be treated, right? Because that's not going to resonate with them. My website, which is speedupmyjobsearch.com, every second and fourth Friday for my Phase 2 and Phase 3 members, we do mastery classes. It's a full hour program. Like February 14th, we just did advanced post-interview tactics on how to ensure you're getting the right reactions after the interview. We're coming up on the 28th. We're going to be going through very specific scripts and templates of how to reach employers, and when they say, hey, go through HR, flip through your book, which will have objections and tabs in it. They said, go through HR. I can read off my answer to what I should say in response to that, and have templates and scripts that we can use. On the 13th, we're going to go through how to deal with all the different DISC personality types, how to spot them on the fly. And then on the 27th, our very advanced networking strategies as well. So if that's of interest as an ongoing mastery option. I hope that was helpful for you, and please check out the rest of our YouTube channel for more tips and strategies to help you with your job search. Just look for Speed Up My Job Search, all one word, or use the link on your screen now. If you'd like to join us at our next meeting, just go to drivestaff.com/JDNG for details. Each month we cover a different aspect of networking to help you sharpen your networking skills and to help you build your network with the other attendees. Now, if the location or the time doesn't work for you, we do have an online version available as well, and you can still network with us in our online private member forum. I'd love to meet you at the next one, so I hope you can make it. Thanks for watching.